I am here with my cousin Rishi, but in this family, we don't regard each other as cousins. We are brothers because we came from a common heritage. There was a man named Behareesingh who in 1869 left Kashi, well, just outside of Kashi. It's a village called Garkara, 28 kilometers outside of Kashi. And he left there to come to the Caribbean. He arrived here on November the 8th, 1869. He was an indentured laborer and he worked on the estates for 5 years. When he finished in 1874, he started a small little parlor, as we call it, which was a small little shop in Tunapuna, because he was contracted to the Makoya estate. And in 10 years later, in 1884, he sent £4, 19 shillings, and 6 pence to his brother in India, in Bharat Desh, which is how we were able to find him and to find the people. So, having done the research and found these people, we are all proud descendants of this Bihari family. From 1845, when we first came as indentured laborers, to 1917, when the last stopped, it was 147,000 plus Indians who came to the Caribbean to work on the sugar estates. And that is our story. And our family's story is a lot more detailed, as Rishi will tell about us.
And this is why we're here this evening. We're here with a few family members, descendants of Behareesingh, and we're discussing and trying to get some stories, particularly from the elder persons, and I'm saying elder being over 80, elder persons, so that the younger generations today, and not only the generations of today, the future generations that at this point have not yet been born, that they can look at these people and try to get an understanding of the culture and what has molded these generations that have come since Behareesingh. What has molded us? Where did we come from? So the idea is to get a much better understanding of the culture, of the principles and morals of which we were all brought up via one of family ties, principles of education, of improvement, self-improvement, being better for ourselves. These are the things, and sacrifice. A lot of our forefathers have sacrificed greatly for us, and I think we need to appreciate that and let the younger generations understand it. So I want to say thanks to Shiva for this afternoon.
And it's a time before we had electricity. It's a time before we had pipe water supply. It's a time before we had refrigeration. A time before we had milk package, we only had cows. It's a time before all of that. It's a time before we had only water from wells, and that is what we want our descendants to understand.
Mm-hmm. So going forward, we will see a few interviews and conversations with a few of the elders tonight, and you will see that we will post on this site. But in addition to that, going forward, I want to encourage everyone out there who has access to an elder within the family to listen to their stories. Take your cell phone and film it. I want to thank Shiva Parasram in particular today for doing this with us in a professional manner with the cameras. And Shiva is willing and stand by for anyone who wants his assistance. He has said he will help us. But if not, do it with a cell phone camera, upload it to this. We want to share these stories, not just for the children of today, but for the future children. We want to have these stories documented for them.
And we are speaking about a time before cell phones. We are speaking about a time before phones. We're speaking about a time before refrigeration. We're speaking about a time when, in order to keep meat, to have meat when the family was coming, you had to have a goat tied to a tree because you didn't know when they were coming. because they had no phone to tell you. So you had to wait until they arrive and then kill the goat in there when after their arrival and skin it and clean it and so on. I'm speaking from a Kshatri perspective, of course not a Brahmin perspective where they're mostly vegetarian. But the fact is, there were adjustments we all had to make life possible. Somebody told me that your grandfather was part of a head of a panchayat group. What was that? What they used to do?
When they have any meeting and thing, when I say with a meeting, anything happen in the village.
Any dispute?
Yes, any dispute they have in the village. They used to come by my grandfather. And they had a few fellows who they used to meet together and they sit down and they discuss what the business is. And they had, people saying this and this, that and that. And they form a conclusion and they come up to a decision. And the decision is accepted as if it's a court. You have no argument.
How they used to do that? They used to smoke ganja, or they used to drink tea, or what they used to do?
No, that time they had people who used to drink. They used to come by my grandfather and drink tea and
but I mean, all
they smoke chilam. Now the chilam is it have a piece of cloth. So when you pull on that chilam, you don't get the ashes or anything coming into it. You just pull it and you...
But what was in the chilam? Tobacco. Not ganja?
No. They used to call it, anyway, I know they just have this thing inside in the chilam.
Now, I want to ask you another question. I know you married my mother. I don't know how she married you, but I know you married my mother. But how she choose you, how you choose she?
Your mother?
Yeah.
This was a very, very peculiar thing, bro. Should I tell him this whole thing?
No, that's a long kata, but I want to know if...
I could cut it short.
Yeah. Did you see her? Did you tell your father, I like this girl?
I saw her after we married.
Oh, you saw her after you married?
No, let me tell you, myself and my father went down to see somebody tell him, so I believe somebody told him, and they went down and they inquired. My father wasn't stupid. He go around neighbors, to find out what kind of people they are. I didn't know nothing about it.
And they're from quite Butler village in Karapichaima.
That is the same road going to the sea.
Yeah, but they're from Butler village, Karapichaima. He from Tunapuna.
Yeah. Yes.
So he gone down quite down there to find out about this girl. All right.
But the most peculiar of that thing is, when we went to see the girl and thing, I shame my father, man, my grandsister, and all of them sit down. And I was a little fella, I feeling funny, and I sit down. She come out with the little lota and thing. I didn't raise my head. I did not see my wife. I could tell you that. Didn't see her. Anyway, she didn't see me because my head was down. After we married, this is a very crucial, important part of it. After we married, then I didn't know my wife could have talked, but I know she could have walked. So afterwards we started to talk and begin to understand each other and all that. She told me how she mother and she used to go to school. The school was just about 2 houses away from them. So she and she mother was always together. If they're selling milk, and the mother selling milk, she going with the mother. Anyway, she mother going. And when she reached the age of 13 years old, her father said, well, she have to stop school now, and she will have to, she's a young lady now, so no school and thing. But her mother used to carry her to somebody who to learn her to sew and them kind of thing. Anyway, when that finished, when she was 15 years old, say it's time for she to get married. They look all about for to get married and they can't get no boy to marry she. They went to our old pandit. This is the important part. They went to our old pandit, and when he opened the patra and he took the information, the birth date and all that kind of thing, he shut the book. He says, stop looking. When she reached age so and so, they're coming home at you. How did my father find that place? To me, was a peculiar thing. I cannot understand it up to today. I don't know. So there is a creator, and he knows.
So
We don't know.
So she used to, in that period of time, she used to sell milk because Nana had plenty cows. He had quite a few cows.
He had cow hunting.
So she used to sell milk with Nani. She used to go with Nani and sell.
Yes, with the pot out.
But how she learned to read Ramayana? She used to read Ramayana and things.
When she they stopped she from school, she used to learn to sew and thing and to read Ramayana and thing.
Okay, so she used to go to.
She learned Hindi.
She learned Hindi to read and write from who? In
Somebody
school?
in the back there to teach.
Okay, so somebody was a teacher
Yes.
teaching that. Okay. All right. So how tough was life for you when you get married? Was easy going?
It was easy going. Now, my mother never went on in the business when my father married mother. When he opened business and things, she's in the house, you know, and she have somebody working, cooking and whatever. I had a similar situation when I got married. I married my father's house, and my wife never come down in my business.
So when you married, you lived in your father's house with your wife?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
So when we got married, yes. So she never came down in the business then. She was still upstairs. I used to run my business. And this is kind of personal. My business started to go bad. The people I had working with me was dishonest. So I was losing in my business. And then I was walking up and down one night, you know, and she said, well, come and sleep now. I said, no, I'm a little bit worried. She said, I know something wrong. You have to tell me. She said, I'm your wife and you have to tell me what is wrong. I said, well, something is wrong in my business and working right. And she said, I said, well, you could come down in the business? So she said, that's all right. But I never see somebody with a brain like that who never do business, nothing at all. When she come down in my business, it was like a Lakshmi come down in the It changed completely. I believe there is something that I don't know about.
So wait, so you were living by your father?
Yes,
The business was downstairs?
yes.
And you had a room in your father's house?
Yes.
But you had children. So when you had children, you got more rooms?
Yeah, well, yes. But you're not small and they'll, how you call them?
No. How many rooms in the house you had?
We had, myself and my brother had.
No. You.
It was
No.
two sections.
No, you and your wife had one room.
Yes, we started with one.
And then you end up having 4 children.
Yes.
You still occupied one room.
We had another room.
So you had 2 rooms.
Yes.
Okay. And how long after you married you lived in your father's house?
Well, boy, I lived there a long time.
Well, I know it was up till I was 9 years old. So that means that probably 11 to 12 years after you married, you lived.
A long time.
Okay.